Fans were also sounding off, wondering what went wrong in a season that once held so much promise. Action News reporter Catherine Scott spent the morning gathering reaction from Eagles Nation.
We've been speaking to Eagles fans today, and many told me if you asked them a month ago, they would have had no doubt the team was bound for the playoffs, but alas, it wasn't meant to be, and now fans are looking ahead to next year.
I'm a little disappointed. I thought they should have made the playoffs.
But instead of readying themselves for a Super Bowl run, Eagles fans in Center City today were trying to figure out how it all went so wrong so quickly. Seattle, Dallas, Washington, the Birds dropped 3 in a row before beating the Giants yesterday in their final game. So what happened?
So many things. Secondary is terrible. We need a whole defensive backs. Quarterback got hurt. D'Amico Ryans got hurt.
Is Brian drunk?
I don't think so. He's not like this when he's drunk. He's just yelling.
Farting. That was really good.
What do you have? A couple, 3, 4 beers?
Ah,
That's not a lot for you.
yeah.
That's par for the course for you.
2.5 hours. Supposed to have
Welcome to Big Pick 4, the show where the NFL picking experts, Big Danny D and Big Brian B, give you the best 4 picks for NFL Sunday games.
Jersey, the one I go to.
To include the guaranteed Big Danny D guarantee and Big Brian B guarantee. We are now officially coming off of a losing season. Good job. Good job on that.
I'd like to say that the last 2 weeks I didn't pick any of those picks.
I would like to say...
I was going.
That's why we won.
That's
why we won.
No, I like to say that all the losing picks this season are all mulligans. So we're actually 28-0-2.
I just want to tell my fans that the last 2 weeks, none of those picks were mine.
All the gut picks were Brian's picks.
That's why the Brian B won last week, because he didn't pick it. Exactly.
That's right.
Oh, I'm sure. What was that about the Jets? I remember one week where you went on and on about the Jets and they fucking lost.
No, you missed it. That's what Dan went on about the Chargers last week.
Chargers. That's right.
Dan was backing up the Brinks truck.
Yeah, that's right. That was our long rant last week, actually, was Scott said, are you willing to put $1 million on the Chargers to win? And I really thought they were going to win because they're facing Chase Daniel, and, I thought Kansas City really didn't have much to play for. And they got killed in that game. They were awful.
Was that your Big D?
I think it was.
Wow.
He was going to go double or nothing on his dad's retirement and wipe him out.
I know, his
dad was smarter than that.
Well, he doesn't have $1 million, so I'm not worried about that.
He does have, hey Scott, if you ever need a place to stay, he does have a couple apartments to rent.
3 apartments. Yes, 3 apartments in a building.
Dan was willing to bet the family fortune on the Chargers last week.
2 loft apartments and a bi-level.
And they got blown out.
Yep.
The Bills, which is the big B that I picked, came through no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, the Patriots really laid down in that game.
So the overall is 28, 38, and 2. And the winner of the losers is actually Big B at an 8-8 and 1 push, with the Big D at an 8 and 9. Big B wins by a push. The winner of the losers.
Thank you, Push. Hey, the Panthers won because of that tie.
Yeah, right. And all because the Falcons are losers, and they finally fired Mike Smith.
The Vikings won last week, was a pick, but they didn't cover. And then the Chargers just got trounced. What the hell is their problem? They had something to play for, too. They got kicked out of the playoffs because of that.
They did. That was a win and in. If they won that game, they were in the playoffs.
Because me and Dan fight over the combined picks all the time anyway. We sit in his office and fucking fight about them. And then sometimes we just flip a coin. Do we not? We just
because there's always one. Like sometimes there's one week, like, oh yeah, I would take that one as a combine. The guarantees are usually no problem.
We didn't even agree on Arizona. We were just like, fuck it. Dan didn't feel like fighting.
No, I was like,
So we have done well in the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
Done well in the playoffs.
Yeah, we've done well in the playoffs.
I'll bet we're over 60% in the last 2 years.
We won the
we
Super
did do great
Bowl.
last
3
year.
years running now, we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And 2 years ago, we lost 1 game. We were 15-1, I think, something like that. Well, last year I think we were 500.
It's a new season now, the playoffs. Let's have the first
It's only 11.
combined playoff pick.
We were
For,
10.
what do we call this? The divisional round?
Wild card.
Wild card week?
Yeah, it's wild card week.
Oh, I guess I better change my sign then. I was calling it divisional. It's still divisional.
Well, but this week is the wild card, then the division, then the conference, then the Super Bowl.
I had it labeled differently. I don't know why.
I mean, you can call it week 18 if you want to, also, I guess, if you want, or whatever. But it's wild card week.
So the Patriots are on a bye, and who else?
Denver. And then in the NFC, it's Seattle and Green Bay are both on bye weeks this week.
Wow. Okay, so this is gravy here. We're going to run the table at 4-0. The Vegas lines have not moved very much, except for the Panthers have become a couple points more favored, basically.
Yeah, started at 4.5, now 6.5.
Yeah. So let's have the first combined playoff pick.
All right, the first combined pick is Arizona at Carolina. The line is 6.5. Carolina really doesn't have a great offense, and Arizona's defense has been okay. I mean, they kind of slid off the cliff a little bit towards the end of the season. But we're going to take Arizona in a close game. We think Carolina is probably going to pull it out at the end, but this should be a tight one, and that Arizona lose by less than 6.5. We didn't think that Carolina could beat Arizona by more than a touchdown. Just because Arizona's defense is probably going to keep them in the game because their offense stinks. Yeah. Especially with Ryan Lindley as the starter. I mean, he should be bagging groceries with Kurt Warner right now. He's awful. But we're going to go. As I said, we think Carolina's going to win. They've been playing very well lately. The defense actually played pretty well the last 5 weeks of the season, even though they play a lot of crap teams. But I think Arizona's going to prove something. I think Bruce Arians is going to have them fired up for this game. I think he's going to tell them, listen, everyone thinks you're a bunch of losers. Everyone thinks you're going to get your ass kicked tonight. Everyone thinks that we're done, and because our quarterback is gone, everyone's against you. And use like the us against the world kind of thing. So I think it'll be a tight game, a good game. The conditions should be slippery. It's supposed to be rainy in Carolina on Friday afternoon. Even though I think that would favor Carolina, actually, just because they can run the ball better. But as you said, Carolina's probably going to win, but we believe it'll be a tight game and that Arizona will cover, that they'll keep it within 6.5.
Yeah. I just wonder why that line is so high.
Because Ryan Lindley's awful, and Arizona's come across the country.
I definitely think Carolina's going to win. I just don't think they're going to cover. 6.5 is a lot.
No, I
when you have a really good defense, you can keep keep any team.
There could be a lot of field goals in that game.
Yeah, it could be 16, 13,
something like that. Yeah.
I mean, Dan always makes fun of me, but I love Arizona because Todd Bowles blitzes the hell out of people.
Yeah, well,
he will blitz the shit out of Cam Newton.
Well, he'll blitz even if it doesn't work.
And but Cam Newton's not good at reading shit. He's gonna make mistakes.
Who was it? I think
he's not good at progressing.
No, I mean, it depends on if they're not a good offensive team. Really,
Steve Young has come out and said Cam Newton's not good at.
What's it called? I mean,
Cam Newton will run the ball.
Yeah, I know, but
he'll run, but he's not good at picking up the blitz.
The blitz can hurt you. Like, I remember when the Eagles played against Arizona. The Eagles, I mean, obviously the Arizona played great red zone defense in that game, holding the Eagles 20 points.
The shit out of
but the Eagles put up 550 yards of offense against that blitz.
But in the red zone.
But they stopped them in the red zone.
They still blitz the shit out of them in the
red
zone.
But I don't think Carolina's capable of that.
Yeah.
They don't have the offense the Eagles do.
Yeah, they don't have the up-tempo style.
They don't have the players on the outside. They don't have the skill players the Eagles do. So I don't think they can do that. But
their running game's terrible.
Their defense is better than the Eagles' defense. That's why I think Brian's right. It's going to be a low-scoring game, like 17-14, 16-13, something like that, where it's going to be tight because the defenses will keep it tight.
Yeah, Carolina's offense is no juggernaut.
No.
That's a great offense. They're
going to run a lot, but they're not going to cover. I mean, you got to be a passing team.
That's a great offense. You drop back and you look. You do your reads, and you say everyone's covered, and you just take off with the ball. Because so many times when everybody's covered, there's a way to run. You can get 5, 6, 7 yards at least.
No, they're going to have a linebacker on him, or actually that Buchanan guy. They'll probably put Buchanan in the box. their
Connor
safety.
Barwin spot on Cam Newton, and Cam Newton had like 5 yards rushing.
Yeah, I mean, they
That's
have a
what
guy,
Seattle does.
Buchanan.
That's what Seattle does. Wilson goes back, he does his reads, everybody's
Yeah,
covered, he
Wilson's
just
a lot
takes off with
faster
it.
than Newton. Newton's not that.
Well, there's two things.
Wilson's amazingly
Well,
fast.
Wilson's a better passer than Newton, and Wilson is smarter than Newton.
He's a lot faster too. He's a lot.
He's faster, but he's also smarter. He understands when to go. He understands
Okay,
not to go.
Rush Limbaugh.
Oh my God! Why do you say that?
He's black.
They're both black.
Yeah, I'm saying because.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. He's is Wilson totally black, or is he like a
Well,
Barack
black.
Obama?
he's
I think his mom-
whatever. He's close enough.
He's Tiger
He's like
Woods and
Obama.
Barack
I think his
Obama.
mom's white or something.
He's still black, and he's a smart guy. And he won a Super Bowl, and he's going to win a second Super Bowl.
It's like the whole Republican argument that Barack Obama's mom was white, so he's white.
It's so stupid. He's a black man.
Well, if my mom was white and my dad was black, I would be half white and half black. I wouldn't be black,
Half
would I?
Yeah, Russell Wilson's half white.
You'd-
half black.
No, you'd be
50-50,
blight.
isn't it? I mean, it's not like one. If it's 50-50, right?
Is that called blight?
It's called
Yeah,
half.
but no,
It's not
you ever
called
notice-
you're one or the
you
other.
ever notice the black always takes over, though. It's always more faded to the black. Russell Wilson looks black, even though his mom's white. That
I
always
mean, he's
happens.
lighter skinned than
Yeah, but he's lighter skinned, but he still
some
looks
other guys.
black.
Yeah, he does.
So is Obama. His mom's white, but he looks black.
Well, he's darker than Russell Wilson.
yeah.
He's a darker tan, but Russell Wilson's amazing. He's a great player, but he's not playing this weekend, so he really doesn't matter. He's going to beat the crap out of some team next week.
Now, Doug Williams was black.
Yes,
He was chocolate.
yes.
Well, you know, the people that are truly from Africa are actually very black compared to most of us, black and white over here, are mixed race actually. So you know, there's whites in your blood tree, there's blacks in your blood tree. You know, some people have apes that have mixed in.
Oh my God! Yeah, Exhibit
Jerry-
A right here.
Jerry Sandusky. It's gonna lead into a Jerry Sandusky or Bill Cosby.
Yeah, Bill, Jerry Sandusky tried to impregnate Bill Cosby,
What about Bill Cosby now?
and then Bill Cosby gave him the Cosby sweater after they were done.
He drugged him. He drugged
Is-
him.
Is Bill gonna send Sandusky an autographed Cos sweater now?
To my friend Jerry,
Jerry,
the
yes.
cause.
Thanks for writing, Jerry.
You can wear this in the shower.
Us innocent guys need to stick together.
That's
Here's a
right.
sweater.
Like 15 women all came out at once.
20.
20, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, this show's going completely off topic.
Not as bad as the Silk Pants Day, though. That was horrible.
I'll tell you what. That was a great idea. Why aren't we still doing this? The silk pants. The guys
Because
just
the league
fly
set up
off you.
rules.
It's like if you put Pam on a skillet.
Well, they used to do that. They used to spray themselves with stuff.
Yeah,
They make their
That's what I'm
jerseys
saying.
slick.
it's a great
They
idea.
put like WD-40, I think, on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But the NFL outlawed all that stuff. The breakaway jerseys and the putting the stick
remember
on
the
your
tearaway
hand.
jerseys? They were great, weren't they?
Yeah, because they'd grab them and the jersey would break away and the guy would keep running.
You'd have to have
all that stuff is gone. They used to cut slits in their jerseys.
you'd have to have like 5 jerseys every game because they were just gonna all rip off your back.
The NFL has a guy on the field checking every single
Yeah.
player's jersey, and then he has a checklist, and he goes
Yeah.
through, and if anyone has a violation, they get a fine. It's the dumbest thing in the world.
I forget, didn't Chad Johnson get fined one year? He had something illegal? They made a big deal
Brandon
about
Marshall
one of
got
those
fined
guys.
because he was wearing the wrong color shoes.
Yeah, they made a big deal.
Stupid. Hate the NFL police. Can't even police themselves.
The no fun league.
It is a no fun league. You can't.
They had to bring back
you can't even
touchdown
dance,
celebrations.
Like, yeah, you can't. I was gonna say you can't celebrate anymore. They do like abbreviated celebrations now. They do some like you ever notice now they all do this like that. They
Yeah.
Dance. Wait, what is this anyway?
A gang
Des
symbol?
Bryant- Was it?
Gang symbol.
I don't know, but Des Bryant
Who was the
does
one
it.
guy that was doing? They told him he had to do a press interview, and he didn't want to. And every question
Oh,
that everyone
Marcel
asked, he'd say, "Thank you for asking."
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he would
Marshawn
never
Lynch.
answer the
No,
question.
no, yes. He's like one day goes, I'm just gonna answer no to everything, and then he would just say no.
But then the last one I heard, he was saying every question they asked, say, how what about that run? And he'd say, "Thank you for asking."
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he would never say anything other than "Thank you for asking."
He made a good point though. It is ridiculous that they make these guys talk to the media all the time. I don't care what you have to say.
I know they fined him with what, $100,000.
You're so stupid. I could care less what any of these people have to say. The only one who have to talk is the
Head
coach.
Exact. I totally agree.
And that's it.
All
Everyone
the other ones,
else,
I don't think-
maybe the quarterback, but other than that, who
Yes.
cares?
Thank you. He was funny. He does not.
He's right though. It's stupid.
And especially because
Don't
they're
care.
like in the locker room, they just got a shower. Like they don't want to be fucking bothered.
So-
Oh, that's the part
the,
Brian likes.
So when the Broncos
shower.
lose, the Peyton Manning press conference afterwards, it was all my fault. I didn't play well enough.
I didn't play well this week.
Let's get some pizza. All right, let's have the second combined playoff pick.
All right, we're gonna go with Pittsburgh. They're -3. They're at home against Baltimore. I think that Baltimore kind of squeaked in to the playoffs. A lot of luck. Pittsburgh's been playing really well lately. Their offense is looking really good. Now, Dan just told me Le'Veon Bell's out. That's a big loss. But I think playing at home and the way they've been playing the last like 5 or 6 games, and I think the way they're like Antonio Brown, their wide receivers, Ben Roethlisberger, their passing game's been going. And I don't know. I think the defense for Pittsburgh's just
And
playing a lot
Baltimore's
better.
0-3 all time at Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
It's a good stat. And I think, I mean, in the beginning of the season, I was talking to a coworker and I was making fun of Pittsburgh's defense, but he did bring up a point. Like the last 5 or 6 weeks, Pittsburgh's defense has looked a lot more like the old Pittsburgh defense. With Dick LeBeau, they've been holding teams to under 100 yards rushing, and they've been blitzing a lot more. I just think, and -3, I like that. I think they could win by 4. I think they could win, 23 or 24-20, something like that.
What's
makes
the
Now the Le'Veon Bell thing that kind of scares me, but I'm still
Yeah, he was 40,
nervous. I'm
he
nervous.
was 40% of their offense the last 6 weeks.
I'm nervous, but I'm still gonna stick with it.
What
Makes it harder.
What's your question?
Makes it harder, but
well, I mean, what are they calling it for that receiver? They're saying questionable or something.
no, he's out.
He's a running back, and he's out.
Oh, they're saying that
Yeah.
Bell guy is out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out. He is 100% out. He can't
It
go
makes
this
me
week.
nervous, but I still think Pittsburgh's just playing really well lately.
I don't like Baltimore. They were awful.
kinda sneaked
The
into the
last 2
playoffs.
weeks, they played against an awful Houston team, and they got killed. And then they played against Connor Shaw, who hadn't played a game in like 4 years, against the stupid Cleveland Browns last game of the season, and they struggled to win that game.
Yeah, they didn't even. They were losing into the third quarter.
Yeah, it
and
was unbelievable.
They didn't start winning until like the end of the third quarter.
I don't care if they get Nada back. I don't care about any of it. They're not good enough, and I think Roethlisberger is better than Joe Flacco.
And isn't Palomalo out too?
No, he's going to play.
But he didn't play last week, right?
No, he didn't, but he's going to be okay, good to go this week.
So what's the my question I was going to ask is the Roethlisberger Flacco playoff record? How do they line up?
Yeah, he just said 0-3.
0-3.
Flacco's
What? Who's 0-3?
Flacco against the Steelers.
0-3 against the Steelers in the
No, I mean
Yeah,
just
they're
in the
picking.
playoffs, not against each other.
Yeah, I don't know what they are against each other, but in the playoffs, they're 0-3. And Flacco's been there majority of the time that
How can
the Ravens
Flacco
existed.
be over in the playoffs if they won a Super Bowl?
No, just against Pittsburgh. They made the play. This is the fifth or sixth time they made the playoffs.
No, but that's
in
what I'm
7
saying.
years.
How are they the quarterbacks in the playoffs? Doesn't matter who the opponent is. How many playoff games has Flacco won versus how many playoff games has Roethlisberger won?
Roethlisberger's won more playoff games than Flacco. He's won 2 Super Bowls.
No,
He's
but
gone to 3.
Well, what Dan's saying is against the Steelers in the playoffs, they're 0-3.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know
with,
that, but I was just wanting to know the overall playoff record for both of them.
I don't
That's
know.
not- that's
Pittsburgh's
irrelevant,
been
though.
around for 90 years. Who knows what
He's
the hell their
not
playoff
Terry
record is?
Bradshaw, for Christ's sake.
I don't know. Pittsburgh's like, 50, 30, and 7? I don't know.
No,
Who
but I'm
knows?
saying Roethlisberger. You're saying Roethlisberger has won 2 Super Bowls?
He's gone to 3 and he won 2 of them. He won against Seattle, and then he beat the Cardinals, and then he lost to the Packers.
And Flacco's gone to 1 and 1-1.
Yeah, they beat the after Ray Lewis cut the lights off in the
the year they won,
dome, and he
though,
killed somebody at halftime.
Pittsburgh didn't make the playoffs the year the Ravens won the Super Bowl. Recently, Pittsburgh has been out of the playoffs 2 years in a row, and that was one of the years that the Ravens were in. Yeah,
3 years in a row. Pittsburgh
so
missed the playoffs
the
before
Ravens,
this year.
the 0-3 record is, I think, hardball. As right, it's hardball.
I think 2 of them might be Harbaugh, and one of them might be maybe Brian Billick.
Yeah.
But,
all right, yeah.
I mean, they're only 2 coaches they've had.
And all Dan's saying is that at home, is it at home or just playoffs?
It's at Pittsburgh.
At Pittsburgh, they're 0-3, which is a good fucking stat. That's telling.
Oh, well, you know, they're all going to have yellow towels. Ooh. Scary. That's really going to put them over the top.
I'm sorry they don't have the West Morris High School home field advantage.
Well, maybe
all 100 fans you had, Scott. I'm sorry they didn't have the West Morris High School home field advantage.
maybe we'll have the ultimate Brian conspiracy Super Bowl of Pittsburgh versus Dallas.
What is it? The Super Bowl conspiracy.
Yes,
my conspiracy is Jerry Jones' conspiracy. It has nothing to do with the Steelers. I don't care about the Steelers.
Because he said nobody's conspiracy is that a team from New York and LA has been every championship
No, that
series.
was baseball. That was baseball, and I'm not the only one who thought that.
Yeah, and then in
that was
football, it has to be the
baseball.
Cowboys and Steelers every year.
And no, my football conspiracy is Jerry Jones fucking runs the owners, and that's why every year they put all this pub on the Cowboys. The Cowboys, except for this year, have been 500 since Tony Romo became quarterback in 2004. But yet every year they put all this pub on them. If you watch all ESPN and NFL Network, every week it's what are the Cowboys doing? What are the Cowboys doing? It's fucking bullshit.
They've been
the Cowboys
500
off.
since 1999.
I know,
actually.
and then we suck them off, and we talk about them more than any other team. It's because Jerry Jones fucking runs the NFL. That's my conspiracy.
This is great, isn't it?
My conspiracy theory.
And he's won exactly 0 Super Bowls in the last 20 years with this conspiracy.
But he doesn't care about. He gets the money for the pub, though. You get him on NFL Network all the time. People are going to buy jerseys and tickets. It's bullshit. I'm telling you, Jerry Jones runs the account. Yeah, you got to have an alpha male. You have 32.
Yeah.
You get 32 owners, and one of them has to be a fucking alpha male that
And the
runs.
now the alcohol is going through getting to the brain.
Well,
Scott
he
thinks
made
the
one
Flyers throw
critical mistake when they opened the new Cowboys stadium that Muhammad Ali didn't come out in the golf cart.
Oh my God!
That was his
You're
fatal
all over
mistake.
this.
He's never gonna live that down.
So for every opening of every arena or stadium, you need Muhammad Ali to come out in a golf cart.
Yes. To be
So when the-
That makes no sense.
to have it blessed, it's like the Pope coming into your stadium. You know, to bless it.
So in 2 years, when the Falcons and the Vikings open new stadiums, Muhammad Ali needs to be at each opening.
If they want the God of all sports to bless their stadium and bring them wins, yes, that's what needs to happen.
Yeah, that's really worked out well for the Marlins. They haven't won shit.
No, I thought it was the Yankees that did that.
No, the Marlins did it for some reason. He has no connection to Miami at all. He showed up there, and they've been awful. They may have a chance to be better this year, but they've been awful ever since he showed up.
I
So
thought
don't
he
really
came
think
out
he's
for the
blessed
Yankees
anything.
opening.
No, it was the Marlins opening.
Oh.
It's in
never
Miami
mind.
at that dome that the taxpayers paid for, that they're pissed off about now.
Well, they can have the Trop here in Tampa. They seem to want to move out of that, so.
I think the team wants to get out of the whole area completely. But we'll
I think we
see.
need to move the show along. Break.
All right.
Commercial.
Now a word from our sponsor. Let
chegou. Bem na hora, bem gelada, bem loura, devassa, bem devassa.
Produto destinado a adultos.
And we're back for the playoff week. Are you for real? From Danny D. Let's have it.
I think the "You for Real" for the year should be that song. Anyway, my "You for Real" are the Philadelphia Eagles for firing the vice president of football operations, I think, or no, vice president of player personnel, and then having two guys throw him out of the building. I mean, who does that? They had two guys throw him out of the building. I mean, did they like throw his briefcase at him too and then pee on him? I mean, they just kicked him out to the street. All right, get out. They threw him into the grass and rubbed his face in it.
It's like a bouncer throwing a drunk guy out.
Yeah, right, as you would know about. But
yeah, that did happen to me one time.
but they just threw him out of the building. And that's so unprofessional and horrible. I can understand. First of all, they made up this bogus story about departing ways when he got totally canned. And then to have two guys throw him out of the building is absolutely horrible. You can't do that. This guy's been in the NFL for years. He has friends. You can't.
His dad was like a big part of the Eagles.
Yeah, he was back when
years.
Leonard Tosa on the team back in the 80s. He was the general manager. Harry Gamble just passed away last year. But it's just like it was just unbelievably unprofessional.
And the fact that it leaked out too was kind of crazy.
Yeah, but they had to have two gorillas throw this guy out of the building. It's just
grown ass man. He's probably like in his mid-50s or something. Right?
Yeah, right. He's like 50, and it's
not like he's Hulk Hogan or anything. He's like
instead Lurie has hired his two gorillas, his goons, to throw him out of the building, and that's
so humiliating.
It's humiliating.
You're already fired, and then you get
it's unprofessional and it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
So the Eagles win mine this week. That is just completely uncalled for.
Did they take him into the elevator and punch him in the face?
Maybe they probably punched him, and then they let Jerry Sandusky come in and rape him, and then they brought in a donkey to kick him in the balls, and then these guys threw him out into the street.
The dog pissed on him.
And then dog pissed on him. Then they rubbed his face into the grass, and they put dirt up his nose, and then they threw him into the windshield of his car.
It was pretty. Dan just told me that. I couldn't believe it. Dan told me it today. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I never heard of that. Like a executive being kicked out of a building.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
I think part of the problem is all the fucking. I bet it was the social media. Somebody probably saw it on their, put it on their like phone, and then it got blown up, and then the Eagles had to explain themselves.
They didn't.
Well, I'm saying.
This was on Wednesday.
This has probably happened 40 years. I bet you it's happened before in the NFL.
Yeah, but this happened on Wednesday, and you didn't know about it. I think that's pretty funny too.
All right, Brian B. Let's have you for real playoff week.
Are you for real? Which, by the way, before I start my Are You For Real, I've heard that a certain brother of mine, Scott O'Haron, has 86 all my Are You For Reals, which is bullshit. So a man named Scott O'Haron can suck it. So I'm going to start my Are You For Real off with that.
You're for real. You're Are
That's
You For Real
fucking
suck.
bullshit. You suck. You fucking suck ass. But my Are You For Real for this week is Dominic Sue.
No, not what's his name? Ndamukong Suh.
Ndamukong Suh. He stepped on Aaron Rodgers, and he said that his feet were numb, which is the biggest bullshit. I mean, you could definitely tell he knew where Aaron Rodgers was. He like felt for him, and he took a whole step back. And if you look at the film, you can tell he even put his whole weight on it. He knew it was Aaron Rodgers' foot, and you can tell he's leaning all his weight onto his foot to probably try to break Aaron Rodgers' ankle or something. But then he came out and said that his feet were numb and he couldn't feel it, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like literally,
it was so cold his feet were numb.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He totally was trying to hurt him. I think that's funny.
Yeah, no, but somehow he weaseled his way out of suspension.
Yeah. Good for Ndamukong Suh though. He's a good liar.
Yeah, right.
So he got no fine or anything?
He got a $70,000 fine.
But he gets to play, that's big though. He's a beast.
Did Rodgers go out of the game? No.
Well, he did, but for a different reason. He already hurt that leg. But I guess Sue thought that he could hurt him even more by jumping on him.
Yeah. No, he came back. But if you also look at the film, Aaron Rodgers got up and was all pissed off because he knew that Ndamukong Suh tried to fucking hurt him.
They also think if it was like some other clown quarterback, let's say it was Brian Hoyer or something, this wouldn't have even been he might have just gotten a fine and said don't do it again. But because it's Aaron Rodgers, that's why he was suspended at first.
Yeah, that could be it too.
But
you can definitely tell he was trying to hurt him. I mean,
if it was Connor Shaw, they said just don't do it again. Be a good boy.
They were talking about certain players. It happens all the time in the NFL. They just don't get caught. There's certain players, they know they're hurt. The Eagles were playing Deshaun Jackson in the Redskins game. And you could definitely tell there was one play where Malcolm Jenkins comes in late and hits Deshaun Jackson in the shoulder, and Deshaun Jackson takes exception to it and throws the ball at him. He didn't get fined or anything. But that happens all the time. I'm sorry. I know that it was stupid of what Ndamukong Suh did, but that shit happens all the time in
But
football.
that was different, though. That was a football-type play, not standing on somebody's leg like that.
No, but I'm saying that...
You probably didn't watch the game. You're watching cartoons, or the post-game show over and over again. But if he was step back with one foot, but then he stepped back with a second foot, and now he knew what he was talking about.
I know he was malicious. All I'm saying is that players do it all the time. They know injuries.
Not that.
They know injuries, and they try to hurt
I understand that, but they try to do it in a football manner. That had no relation to a football play.
And also, they talk about a lot of times in the pile, when they know somebody's hurt and there's nobody who can see what's going on underneath the pile, they'll they'll
get punches in and stuff like that.
They'll punch in the ribs if they know one's hurting the ribs. But I'm saying that shit goes on all the time.
Yeah, I understand that, but that's hidden. But I'm saying a lot of times you try to go after a guy in a foot with these, trying to make it look like a football play.
Right,
he didn't even try.
But what they should have done, what the Packers should have done, the play they should have called for the next 3 plays is let him come through. Let him come through and just throwing the ball as hard as they could into his balls. For 3 plays in a row. Just throw the hardest line drive right into his balls.
Are you available to be a head coach of a team? I'd watch your team play.
That would have been hilarious, though, wouldn't it have? It's like, you want to hurt our guy? You're going to get hurt. Every time, just let him through. And just wail it as hard as you possibly can into his nuts.
That's a strong arm, too, man.
That would have been great.
We had a guy who used to work with us who's in our fantasy football league and fantasy baseball league, and he was a lineman, so he was involved in all those piles. And he said sometimes guys would give guys shots in the balls. And one time a guy actually, his ball went back inside because someone hit him so hard. So they do that in the pile.
Dealing. Yeah.
So he said sometimes guys would get punches in the pile and the balls. So some guys got really hurt.
But we used to wear cups, back in the day. But I don't think NFL. I mean, they don't have to wear cups. A lot of them. Most of them.
No.
In the NFL, when I played in high school, I had to wear thigh pads, knee pads, hip pads. A lot of those players don't even wear that shit.
You had to wear your special helmet so they knew you were a special player.
Yeah. No. If you watch the NFL, a lot of these wide receivers, they don't wear thigh pads so they can go faster. They don't even.
Well, I think they make them wear thigh pads now. They brought them back.
Yeah, but they have to wear thigh pads.
They used to have to
like
wear
Jerry Rice. If you ever look at films of Jerry Rice, he has no thigh pads on, no knee pads.
Well, that's funny. At the beginning, he did, but you look towards the end of the '80s, it started to go away.
Yeah.
And look at the '90s, nobody really wore them.
Deion Sanders, I don't even think wore shoulder pads. If you ever look at some of his film.
Well, he did, but they were the kid shoulder pads.
We had a hip pad, a butt pad.
Yeah, I hated all that fucking pads, man. Yeah.
Thigh pads, knee pads, shoulder pads.
Yeah, Brian tried to drink out of his. You didn't know what was going on.
That's right.
But these quarterbacks nowadays look like they're wearing a bulletproof vest, which
yeah,
they are.
In the day, the quarterbacks just had shoulder pads on. That was about it.
But it is a bulletproof vest. It's what it is. It's really what it is.
The Kevlar.
It's a Kevlar vest that they're wearing.
But
most quarterbacks I see are wearing something big under their pads.
But you're right. It really is a version of a bulletproof vest.
They're trying to protect the ribs.
Yeah. Yeah, it gives them an extra protection. It covers their whole chest. And instead of just wearing the pads that end here at the breastplate that goes all the way down to their navel.
So let's have the first guaranteed Danny D for the playoffs.
All right. My first guarantee pick Since I
Don't
did
sound
so
too excited about it now.
Yeah, right. Is the Dallas Cowgirls hosting the Detroit Lions?
Oh, that's mine.
Oh, I'm sorry. Forget it.
Mine.
Next.
Stealing mine.
Yeah, no.
Try, Danny.
My pick is actually
Yeah, that's why you can't trust Jews, man.
yeah, that's right.
Fucking Jews.
Can't trust drunk people either. Indianapolis is at home to Cincinnati. Indy is favored by 3.5. Quite frankly, both teams really aren't very good. Indianapolis doesn't play great defense, but I don't trust Cincinnati at all. Andy Dalton can't win a big game. He especially can't win a big game on the road. A.J. Green looks like he's going to be out. They really have no second receiver on that team who's done anything worth a damn at all. They have a good running back in Jeremy Hill, but I think that Indianapolis will be able to load up against the run and really make Cincinnati one-dimensional, and they can't play that way. Pagano's a former defensive coordinator from the Ravens, so he has an idea of the defense, even though his defense hasn't been great, but it's a playoff game, so I think they'll play a little bit better. And I trust Andrew Luck over Dalton. I mean, and they have a better offense, they have better offensive players. They're going to throw the ball a lot. If you look at the last game, Pittsburgh threw all over them, and Cincinnati couldn't get a pass rush at all. Their pass rush was stagnant. They rushed the same 4 stupid guys every time, and they got nowhere. They only had 20 sacks this season, which as a team, which is absolutely horrible. If you think about it, what's his name? Justin Houston had 22 sacks. What's his name? Watt had 20.5 sacks. And then I think Barwin was third with 14.5. These guys had just as many sacks or more than the entire Cincinnati team. Geno Atkins has not been the same player inside that he was before his knee injury. He's really slowed down. He used to create that push in the middle, and it's not there anymore. They really have to revamp that defensive line. They're awful. They have one guy starting, Wallace Gilberry. He has 3.5 sacks, and 2 came in the first game of the season. He's done nothing since. Why does he start? Don't you have anybody else? I mean, really, what are they doing? How come they don't blitz more? I don't get that either. I mean, are they that afraid? Are their safeties that bad to keep their linebackers back? I don't know what the hell is going on there. I think Andrew Luck has a chance to pick them apart. Indianapolis already beat Cincinnati 34-0 earlier in the season. They have a terrible running game. I don't think it matters. I think Andrew Luck can win this game, and I think they'll cover the 3.5. It's not a huge spread. I think they could win by more than a touchdown, maybe 10 points. Because I just don't think Cincinnati is going to be up for this game. If they're without A.J. Green, they're really going to be in trouble. So go with Indy in this game, our former love train.
That's right. First part of the season.
That's right.
Yeah, you were like, what, 3-0 or something?
Something like that. They were good. We were good with them.
So, back to the love train. That's right.
Making animal noises.
Yeah, right.
Let's have the final big Brian guarantee. He was the winner with that one push on the season. So we have.
Thank you.
This is.
I would like to thank
This is the
Peter
bet
Griffin.
of the week where you're going to bet your kids college fund.
And here's your award for winning.
I would like to thank Peter Griffin, a Family Guy. He's been an inspiration. I'd like to thank Al Bundy, Married with Children. I wouldn't be here without you. All right, my big B for this week. I'm gonna go with Dallas. They're 6.5, and I find it interesting that some of the other lines are 8.5, 7. But this is a good line.
Could you
Pinnacle has a
redo
good
your
line.
award speech? I missed part of it.
Yeah, you didn't record it?
Yeah, whatever. He's gonna move his big B. We'll do it
Yeah,
after.
just do the back it up a little bit. Brian gets the award.
All right.
The toilet paper's gone.
Actually, I would like to give our wonderful producer and director an award for cutting all of Brian's announcements from the show during the course of the season. Thank you.
No, I said I just want to say thank you to Al Bundy and Peter Griffin.
To the Crickets.
They've been my inspiration. All right. I'm going to go this week. I'm going with Dallas. My other point was that the line on some of these other Vegas sites.
He's cricketing you again.
Well, you can't cricket my analysis. No, some of these other sites are 7, 7.5. There's one that's 8. I like Pinnacle has very favorable. It's 6.5. Dallas at home. I just found out that Farley's not playing, but he hasn't been playing the last 5 or 6 weeks anyway. I think Dallas defense, they're in the top 3.
He's been out since week 8 when they played in London and he got hurt.
So I mean, Detroit's defense is they're pretty good. They've been playing pretty well. I just think that if Farley was coming back, that might have made a little bit of a difference. But I think they can handle the front four with Sue. They can probably double team him a lot, and the offensive line for the Cowboys is good. They're probably one of the best, probably top 2 in the league, top 2 or 3.
They had 2 All-Pro offensive linemen this year.
Yeah, I think they're going to run the ball a lot with Murray. I think they're going to keep the ball out of Detroit's hands. I think Dallas has been playing well. They had a big win over Indy at home. The last 3 weeks, they've had some big wins, and they've looked good. Des Bryant, he's looked good. I like 6.5 is kind of high.
I disagree. I think Dallas is going to kill him.
I would have liked it better if it was 4.5, 5.5, but I still feel strong.
I think this could be a 38-20 Dallas win. It's going to be a blowout.
And the one stat that I think is hilarious.
Total blowout.
Well, I'm
Detroit
saying I think it's going to be something like 27-17. But my one stat I'd like to throw out is that Matthew Stafford against winning teams on the road is 0-16. That is the most amazing stat I've ever heard.
Detroit gave up 2 weeks
0-16.
ago. Detroit gave up against the Bears. They had absolutely putrid performance against the Bears. They kept that awful team in the game, and they barely won.
Yeah.
Then they had another pathetic performance last week against Green Bay. He's been waiting to use that. And then I think Dallas is on a roll, and I think Detroit's not going to be able to stop them. I really think Dallas is going to score over 35 points, and Detroit will score like 20. They're going to get crushed.
Well, I would disagree with my partner, but I still think they're going to cover 6.5. I don't know if it's going to be.
This was
Detroit's
the San
defense is
Diego
awful.
genius from last week, right?
I understand that.
And how many playoff
Cooper,
games
bro,
has Romo
bro.
won?
Yeah, but Romo's played really well the last month. He's been terrific.
He's-
and Matthew
He
Stafford's
just
been
tends to peak in the playoffs, I think. Especially as a placeholder.
That's right.
No, but I think that is the most telling stat I've ever heard in football. 0-16 against winning teams on the road. That's unbelievable.
too?
Matthew Stafford, you know what that means? That means he shies away from the moment. He gets like a turtle and he goes into his
Well, look at the
shell.
last
So
2
does
weeks.
Romo, though.
No,
Romo,
he's
Romo
been better.
has at least won one. He beat the Eagles in the playoffs.
Yeah, but that was just, that
He
was
still won a
terrible.
game, though.
Yeah, but no, if you look at the last 2 weeks, look at last month. Detroit has not played very well at all, and Dallas has been on a roll. They're rolling teams. Detroit can't win. They barely beat Chicago.
And Dan
I don't
Marino-
trust. It's in their DNA to give up. If they get down
And-
big early, they're going to give up and they're going to lose, and that'll be it.
I think Dan brought
I don't
up,
trust Jim Caldwell. I don't trust Matthew Stafford. I don't trust the Lions.
and I think Dan brought up a good point a couple months ago, maybe a month and a half ago. Calvin Johnson's not the same guy anymore. Maybe a couple years ago he could dominate a
Did
game,
he
but
shrink
he's
or
not the
something?
same guy
He
anymore.
shrunk a couple inches or what?
No, his
No.
ankle. He's been.
He's
like,
not as explosive, I think is what Brian's trying to say.
He's not as dominant anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
there are times when he could just take over a game by himself, and you could triple cover the guy, and he would still catch the ball. He can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
If you watch games lately, he's been stopped to 80 yards. I mean, he's not been the same guy.
Excuse me. Detroit hasn't won a playoff game in 22 years.
Since back in the Wayne Fonts days, right?
And
Yeah, Wayne Fonts, Barry Sanders, and
Scott Mitchell.
no, it was
Herman Moore.
Eric Kramer and Herman Moore and Brett Perriman
Sanders,
were the
maybe.
last. They had a Sports Center. They were the last
Scott
guys.
Mitchell, he lost to the Eagles.
Oh, they killed in that game. It was like
Yeah.
59-20. That was-
Scott Mitchell was a.
I'm just saying,
joke.
Detroit implodes in the playoffs, and I would not be shocked if this is a blowout.
Well, I think with Detroit's defense is not going to be a blowout.
I don't
but
think their
still
defense is that
they
good.
can
I think they're
cover.
overrated.
They're the top 3 defense.
I understand
Their stats
that.
are top
I know, but they played twice against the. They were better in the first half of the season, but they played twice against the Bears and twice against the Vikings, who stink.
Will Scott Mitchell be up in one of the suites and they'll pan over to him like they do to
Yeah, right. There are only 2
Elway or
suites for
something
him.
like that?
Yeah, he got fat.
He got huge. He weighs
Yeah.
more than Brian. I mean, he needs probably 2 sweets to fill him in.
Who's the guy who's on?
He needs that
Biggest,
fat Albert sweater.
Who's the guy who's on Biggest Loser? Who's the NFL
Scott
player?
Mitchell.
Is that him? Yeah,
Yeah.
he blew up.
What happened? They turned you down?
Yeah, they turned me down. That's right.
Yeah, Scott Mitchell. He weighs like 350 pounds. It's like me and Brian combined.
They have to bring him out on a golf cart before the game, though.
Are they gonna
With a
bring?
lob belly.
Yeah, for the ceremonial coin toss, let him throw the coin in the air.
Scott's obsessed with that, like he is that pirate.
I
porn.
think Roger Staubach will be there, actually. I mean,
Well, he's always there. He's nuts.
I know. That's why I was being sarcastic. The man's still an attention whore after all these years.
Yeah, he is. He's always there and waving. Hey, look at
Jerry
me.
Jones is attention whore. I've never seen any fucking owner on Sunday Night Football get interviewed. He's a piece of shit. I hate that.
Well, how about he's a doctor? He's telling Roman when to go out there and when not to.
Yeah, he came out and he told
Yeah.
Jason Garrett to put fucking Romo in.
That was one of the dumbest things of the season was when they interviewed him during Sunday Night Football.
Yo, you know who he is? He's the fucking guy from Star Trek, not Darth Vader. Who's the other Emperor? He's the fucking Emperor. Look at him.
That's not Star Trek.
He'll be down.
mean,
you know what?
Star Wars.
I guarantee
He's
you, at
fucking-
the beginning of the fourth quarter, or probably even the third quarter, he'll be down on the sidelines, right?
Oh yeah.
No, no. He actually doesn't do that anymore. He actually spends time in the booth. He doesn't really go down anymore like he used to.
My favorite-
and patrol the sideline.
My favorite Jerry Jones story of all time, and this is what puts him up at the top of the prick list, is that Jimmy Johnson had a rule in the locker room that nobody before the game, no celebrity, nobody before a game could come into the locker room. And he said that from day one he became the coach. He told it to Jerry Jones, no one can ever come before a game, right before the game starts. One of the reasons that Jimmy Johnson quit is because he had some Saudi Arabian, Jerry Jones had some friend from Saudi Arabia and some oil guy come and visit. And I guess he wanted to suck his dick. So he brought him down into the locker room with 5 minutes before the game. And Jimmy Johnson was like, fuck that. That was one of the reasons he's like, I'm not going to be a coach here anymore. You're an egomaniacal, crazy bastard. And I'm not going
And
to
notice they haven't won very much since that happened.
Since Jimmy
They
Johnson
should have left him
yeah.
alone and left him there. Jimmy Johnson had a good idea what he was doing. The whole thing collapsed after Johnson left. They all became criminals after he left. Jerry Jones went crazy and started giving himself every title on the team.
Yeah, he's everything. He's like the VP,
the GM.
He does everything.
He cuts the grass. He
Yeah.
he
And you
cleans
know
the
what?
toilets.
He's a cheerleader. He's one of the cheerleaders. He's the head
Whenever
cheerleader.
they actually say with a straight face about the new stadium, is they say that Jerry Jones' wife decorated it with artwork.
No, it's his daughter-in-law.
No, they say his wife.
His daughter. No, it's
decorated
his daughter.
To make to make the fan experience better, that you have this piece of shit artwork hanging up in the stadium.
They're all crazy.
To make
His
the
son's
fan
crazy,
experience better,
his
are you
daughter's
fucking
crazy.
kidding me?
The fans don't care. They just want
They
the beer.
don't give a
and-
shit about the fucking artwork.
No, not
dumb
at
bitch.
all. Oh, look, it's a Kandinsky. Who cares? Look, it's a Monet.
Hey, here's Roger Staubach's Super Bowl football, and here's some fucking artwork. Who gives a shit? Take it to
They're
a
a bunch
damn
of
museum. Get
cowboys.
it out of my stadium.
They're a bunch of cowboys anyway. What do they know about art?
No, they don't. It's like
Yeah, I agree
Axel
with you
Ford back in
100%.
the day. You know, these dumbasses selling a modern art. He didn't know.
It's like the
art from
Buccaneers
his
thing. We have a
asshole,
football team.
You know. Oh, here's some modern art.
Yeah, it's like the Buccaneers thing. Look, we have a professional football team.
But that really enhances the fan experience every week.
Yeah, right.
The artwork.
I mean, you must be heartbroken. The Bungles
Hey, you
and
know
the
what,
Lions both lose this week, and Tampa Bay's already gone.
Hey, but he
That's
might
all
get-
3 of your
he
teams
might
are
get
out.
Mariota, though.
Yeah,
He might
Marcus
get
Mariota's.
Hey,
He's coming to
Scott.
Tampa.
Marcus Mariota, baby.
Oh, are we getting a new coach? Oh, you're talking
No,
about
he's
the
a
player.
quarterback.
You're talking about
But you know what's going to happen
the
though?
number one
He's going to
draft
break his leg on the first. He's going to break his leg on the first
Wait,
play of
we
his
gotta make fun
career.
of Scott. Scott thinks Marcus Mariota is a head coach.
Oh, he's a head coach.
And Kyle Bowler is still the quarterback for the Ravens.
Yeah, and the Vikings still play at Metropolitan Stadium.
Oh, is this like a no-brainer for the number one pick for next year,
Dude,
Marcus?
he's,
Yeah.
he's
a no-brainer.
amazing.
Yeah, and the Jets still play at Shea. Detroit still plays at the Silver Dome. There's 2 LA teams.
I think the Silver Dome's for sale if you're interested.
Yeah, I think
Except
it
the-
is.
Yo,
It's called the Silver now. The Dome's not there anymore. It's just called the Silver.
Yeah, right.
Dan doesn't like people to know that he has enough money to buy the Silver Dome. He keeps that hidden.
I wish. It costs like $50 million to buy it, which isn't expensive for what it is, but
No, Dan, the last group that bought the Silver Dome bought it for $600,000.
oh wow, that's not a lot.
That's
whole
why.
thing?
That's why
Yeah,
I said
because
it's
it's
not
wood.
called the Silver Dome anymore because the dome has collapsed. It's called the Silver.
Yeah, all the real estate in Detroit's totally depressed. You could buy a house for like $10.
Damn.
No, the problem with the Silver Dome is you can buy it for like $500-600K, but the taxes on it are like over $1 million a year. So
Well, the some Russian guy wanted to put a soccer team there. It didn't work out.
Oh, in the Silver Dome?
Yeah, it's still just a dump now. I think animals live there.
All right, I gotta go, guys. We gotta do the send off here.
All
I know
right.
you guys can talk forever. I gotta go home.
as always,
Score with Big Pick 4.
yes, sir.
I actually have a question for you. If Brian, you can do whatever you want.
Well, I gotta figure out the train schedule. And
I'll
shit.
tell you in a minute.
And
I
I need a token too.
I mean, all right. Maybe